Hello, welcome to Book and Film Compare. Enjoy the show. Let's begin our comparing of the Jungle Book by comparing the beginning of the book with the beginning of the movie. The beginning of the book starts with Shere Khan the tiger attacking a tribe of humans who are in the jungle. He gets burned by the fire they have started. And kills almost all of them. But he misses a baby. The baby, who is Mowgli, crawls into the den of some wolves, into their cave. The wolves, knowing that the law of the jungle forbids animals to hunt men, and also says that the free animals don't have to take orders from the meat animals like Shere Khan, as the free animals are the wolves and stuff. They don't give Mowgli to Shere Khan, and they decide to they don't eat Mowgli, and they decide to raise him as their own. The beginning of the Jungle Book movie begins with Bagheera finding Mowgli as part of a shipwreck. He decides to raise Mowgli. He decides to take He decides to take Mowgli to a pack of wolves and lets them raise him. In the book, Bagheera is not part of Mowgli being raised in the jungle. He does not even appear as in the Jungle Book until much later. Next, we shall compare the characters in the book to the characters in the movie. Mostly they are the same. They have the same name, they are the same species, but there are differences. For instance, Baloo in the book, he is, well, kind of you'd say, the old wise man figure. He's very straight, he's wise. He's the one who teaches Mowgli about the jungle, how to speak all the languages of the animals. He's concerned for Mowgli. He cares for Mowgli and warns him of dangers. In the animated movie, well, he's more of the carefree character. He doesn't fear anything. He's more of the lazy type. He's the kind who wants to have fun. And he doesn't want and he tells Mowgli not to worry about anything. Very different from what was in the book. Bagheera in the book, well, he cares more for Mowgli than... He's more carefree for Mowgli, you'd say. He has Mowgli not be afraid as much. He takes Mowgli places. He helps Mowgli hunt for food in the jungle. And, as you can just say, he's more of the, how would you say it? He's more of a best friend figure to Mowgli. In the movie, he's kind of what Baloo was in the book. He's very protective of Mowgli. He's trying to get him to go to the man village. He warns him of danger, and he tries to make sure that he's safe from Shere Khan. And speaking of which, let's move on to Shere Khan. In the book, Shere Khan, well, he's kind of, you'd say, he's the gangster, the godfather in the whole jungle. He's kind of, not exactly a dictator, but you'd say he's the boss man. He's kind of the terror of the whole jungle. All the animals fear him. Likewise, they do so in the movie, but in the book, he's very much, well, not exactly king of everything, but he's more like, well, you'd say like an Al Capone figure. The animals all the animals don't cower before him, but he has a strong presence. Like I said, the wolves don't give in to every order he does, but he has a lot of hunting grounds in the jungle, including in other animals' territories. The lower animals are like servants to him, which we will get to in a minute. And even the domestic animals are prey to him. But he's more of the I'm the guy who should get everything I want figure in the book. In the movie, he's more like a king in the jungle. All the animals cower before him. Even the wolves fear him. In the book, they stand up to him more. In the film, they all cower and do everything he says. Plus, he hates man. And now, and second, we should talk about also the elephants. They are well, they're not really mentioned in the book. They are mentioned, but they don't make an appearance. In the movie, they're like soldiers, police. With Hathi, the elephant mentioned, he's only mentioned 2 times in the book. We don't really see him. In the movie, he's an army general. aside from the elephants being mentioned 2 times in the book, they don't really make an appearance. But other than that, they more of a law enforcement appearance in the movie. And as for the vultures, in the movie they kind of have a British appearance, and they help Mowgli fight Shere Khan. In the book, only one appears, and he helps Baloo and Bagheera find the monkeys, which we'll get to in a minute. And the vultures are called kite. Vultures are called kites in the book. And we know that because it says they follow predators around for scraps of meat. And the monkeys, in the book they are called Banderlog. Their appearance in the movie and book are very different from each other, which I will explain. In the book, they have no leader. They're unorganized. They have no laws. They are, as the other animals call them, barbaric. They always go on the trees. They fling rocks, stones, and pieces of fruit on the other animals. And as according to Baloo and the other animals, they are considered outside of the law of the jungle. In the movie, which we'll also get to in a minute, they have a leader, they are organized, they have laws. They are considered part of the jungle, and they even have their own tribes. While in the book they are lawless, they are bandless, and they always fight among themselves. And one final thing I'll get to is Mowgli. His appearance in the book as well. One thing I should get to as well, most illustrations show him, just like in the movie with pants, as Rudyard Kipling described in the book, he wears nothing, absolutely nothing. So in other words, he's naked. He's very, he's more open to stuff that he is told from. He doesn't like Baloo. He's more open about mankind than he is in the movie. And he is, how would you say it? He is more curious and less egocentric about moving away from the jungle and about going places than he is in the movie. So again, he's not, in his movie and book appearances aren't that different other than those few facts. Alright, and on to the next subject. Are there any characters in the book that did not make it to the movie? Well, as a matter of fact, there is. He is absent in actually all adaptations of the Jungle Book, not just the Disney animated movie, but he appears in the original book by Rudyard Kipling. He is a jackal, and his name is Tabaki. He hasn't appeared in any of the film adaptations, whether it be by any other studio, but he kind of is, well, how would you say it? He's kind of a sidekick to Shere Khan. I know, granted in the movie, the snake, Ka, was kind of friendly with Shere Khan in a way. Tabaki is more like, you'd say, a sidekick, more a friend. He always was with Shere Khan. He picked up his scraps and he always announced Shere Khan's coming. He was, well, he's an interesting character. He appeared in the beginning of the book with the wolves, announcing that Shere Khan has attacked humans and is demanding the baby Mowgli be turned over to him. And even when Mowgli was in the man village, he came to Mowgli warning him that Shere Khan is coming and demand that he turn himself over to Shere Khan. He was an interesting character. Again, maybe due to time constriction and other facts, he didn't appear in the movie, but still, it's a kind of a shame. He was a kind of a very good character. Granted, he is bad, but he had some interesting qualities about him. Not to mention that he kind of mentioned all the little figures followed Shere Khan. All the little animals, like the hyenas, the jackals, like him, and even the mordants and stuff, they all followed Shere Khan, as they followed him for his scraps of meat. Another character who appeared in the book that didn't appear in the movie was this priest who appeared in the man village. Granted, which we'll also get to later, no human appeared in the animated Jungle Book movie aside from the sequel. The priest was an interesting character, for, granted, religion is many times an evil figure in books and movies, in many movies also. He kind of, well, the priest kind of made Shere Khan and many other animals a worshipped and demented figures in the village, and also made Shere Khan a price on the villager's head. Plus, once Mowgli killed Shere Khan, which we'll also get to later, he offered Mowgli a small dollar or a piece of gold. You know how they got paid in India to hand him over Shere Khan's hide to bring to the villagers. When Mowgli refused, he turned the villagers against Mowgli, claiming he was a demon. Which is how Mowgli which is not in the movie, got banished from the village. He was an interesting character, which again, unlike in the movie, made it that Shere Khan was not the only villain in the book. The priest was an interesting character, and then again, he was another villain. He brought fear into the man village, and also he also shows how, again, I'm not saying religion is bad. It just depends on who brings it, but it just shows how fear can turn people on others, or can make stuff look barbaric. If you get what I'm saying. Again, I'm not saying anything bad about people or religion. I'm just saying that sometimes it can fall into the wrong hands. Next subject, are there any characters in the movie that did not exist in the book? Well, yes. First is King Louis, the leader of the monkeys. Like I said before, in the book, the Banderlog, which are the monkeys, are lawless. They are without a leader. Which, as Bagheera and Baloo said in the book, they have no leader. They are barbarians. They are outside of the law of the jungle. In the movie, the monkeys have a king, an orangutan, King Louis. He's an interesting character in that, well, aside from the fact that there are no orangutans in India, which is where the story takes place, even though in the live-action movie he's a Gigantopithecus, or Gigantopithecus, whichever. He's, well, he's kind of, well, how would you say this? Interesting character that he wants to be human. It's a theory. I know it has facts and stuff, but still, it's just a theory until we invent time machines or until some kind of fact comes up that humans evolved from apes. And, well, so it's kind of an interesting thing that he wants to be human, and that he believes that the way to humanity is fire. Well, Rudyard Kipling didn't create him, and he didn't come from the book. He kind of fits into the world of the Jungle Book. Like if you look at the Banderlog in the original book, they wanted Mowgli, not for the same reason they do in the movie, but because in the book, they feel that Mowgli would help them get accepted into the jungle with his knowledge of hunting, his knowledge of building weapons with sticks, and his knowledge of cutting down roots and trees and fruit from the vines. In the movie, they felt, like King Louis, they felt that he could give them fire, which would help them become human. So again, the two motives are very similar. So again, while King Louis was not a character in the book, he was in the style of the book. Another character who didn't appear in the book, even though maybe she was a bit mentioned in the book, is the girl who appears in the end. You know, the girl that Mowgli falls in love with and leads him into the man village. In the book, he goes to the man village because he was cast out of the wolves. As I can explain it, in the book, he gets fire, or as the animals call it, the red flower. In the movie, they refer to it as fire, but in the book, they have their own language. They call the fire the red flower. As Shere Khan took over most of the wolves, and Akela, the leader of the wolves, was old, and they said he could lead the pack no longer, and we're going to kill him, and we're thinking of turning Mowgli over to Shere Khan. Bagheera suggested, or no, not suggested, he told Mowgli to get the red flower or fire to his aid. Mowgli went to the village, took fire from a pot from some kids, and ran back to the pack and showed it to Shere Khan and all the wolves. And that's when he went to the man village. In the movie, after fighting Shere Khan and scaring him away with fire by wrapping it around his tail, it took a girl to lure him to the man village. So granted, while in the book, in the end, it does say he gets married, there's no mention of a girl. In the movie, they show a girl. And while they do name her Shanti, they don't really give her a name or anything in the movie. So yeah. She's an interesting character. She sings a song, she fetches water, she winks at Mowgli and stuff. She's not really mentioned in the book, aside from saying that Mowgli does get married. And aside from that, there isn't really much else. Spoiler alert, this is where I have to warn you guys. If you haven't read the book or seen the movie, please skip this and wait until you have. And this is a warning. If you guys want to see the movie or read the book, please skip this and wait until you have. This is your final warning. Please wait. As we now conclude this book and film compare, I would just like to say, how is the ending from the book different than the movie? Well, I just want to say the ending of the book is much darker than the ending of the movie. If you're ready for it, here it is. The ending of the book is, well, Shere Khan attacks Mowgli in the outfields of the man village. Mowgli kills Shere Khan and cuts his hide. The priest, who was very annoyed with Mowgli getting praise and more attention than him in the man village, comes out, sees Shere Khan's hide being cut by Mowgli and the tiger dead, pleased with it, comes to claim the hide, offers Mowgli a piece of gold or something for the hide, to take it to the man village and present it to the citizens, which Mowgli refuses. And Mowgli takes the hide, and shoos the priest away. Much later, when Mowgli returns to the man village, The priest has turned the whole village against Mowgli, all except his original mother, who doesn't know that he's her actual son. Turns out she survived Shere Khan's onslaught. And Mowgli's cast out of the village. He goes later, lays Shere Khan's hide on the wolf's pack rock. And being cast out of both the pack and the village, he goes to lead his own life in the jungle. He eventually gets married and starts his own life in the jungle. In the end of the movie, Mowgli fights Shere Khan, wraps a piece of wood with fire around the tiger's tail. The tiger flees. Mowgli's ready to spend the rest of his life in the jungle with Baloo and Bagheera when he sees a girl who's come out of the man village to pick water. Smitten with the girl, Mowgli follows her into the village, stays there, and Baloo and Bagheera wish him luck and head back into the jungle, where everyone lives happily ever after. So as you see, the movie has a happy ending while the book has kind of a dark so-to-so ending. Yep, and that is a comparison between the Jungle Book film and the Jungle Book book. Thank you for watching.